But sometimes we lose media, lost media. Then we all go search for media. Lost media, it's not found, it's lost. Lost media. Sometimes it's well known, we all know that it's media. Lost media. We love to search for media, but it's not that media. Lost media. It's lesser known, lost media. Not well known, but it's still lost. Lost media. Lost media. It's lesser known, lost media. Here with Mr. Shaw.
Hey, what's up, Simian Squad? It's your host, Mr. Sean, here on Mr. Sean Productions' lesser-known Lost Media, Volume 85. I hope you weren't too disappointed that last week there was not one, as I was on vacation, but I'm back with another installment of Lost Media that just doesn't get its fair share of time here on YouTube. Now, if you're new to the channel, why are you starting with 85? But anyway, lucky you, you've got 84 videos to watch after this one. Love a good binge sesh. But what we do here is we take pieces of Lost Media that aren't as well known as the ones you hear about all the time on YouTube, and we cover them here. We start with 4 family-friendly, safe-for-work pieces and end with a spicy piece. And with all that being said, let's begin. Now, our first piece today is Modoka Magica Phone, which are partially found mobile apps from 2013 to 2014. Puella Magi Modoka Magica Phone, also known as Modoka Magica Phone or simply Modoka Phone, was a series of wallpaper apps created by Legs Singapore to promote Modoka Magica Rebellion. The apps were released from 2013 to 2014 as part of Legs' AnyPhone brand. The apps were removed from the Google Play Store and App Store on August 31st of 2015 when the AnyPhone brand was discontinued. So, a little history about this. Well, Modoka Magica Phone was the first set of apps made for a series called AnyPhone. The first app for Modoka Magica Phone, Modoka version, was announced on October 16, 2013. The app was released to the Japanese Google Play Store on November 4, 2013. Modoka version, alongside other apps, were gradually released to more countries. The app was released in the United States on December 3rd of 2013. The Homura version was released on December 30th, 2013. The apps were promoted using advertisements which featured the original Japanese and English voice actresses. The Japanese advertisement is notably lost. Now, on March 10th of 2014, the Mami version, Sayaka version, and Kyoko versions were released. And on March 18th, a large update would be announced, and a limited-time app, Modoka Magica Phone Petite, was announced the same day. Petite was intended to be available until April 20th, but was removed on May 31st due to popular demand. Now, Modoka Magica Phone Petite was released on March 22nd. The development of the iOS versions of Modoka Magica Phone, known as Puella Magi Modoka Magica Phone 4i, was also announced on March 10th. The app was released on August 13th. Now, on August 17th of 2015, AnyPhone would announce its shutdown, releasing a roadmap of when their apps would be removed. All of the Modoka Magica Phone apps were removed from the Google Play Store and App Store on August 31st, and AnyPhone shut down on October 30th, 2015. So that was a lot of history, but what did these actually do? Well, the apps functioned as interactive wallpapers. Legs Singapore heavily promoted that phone clay technology was used for AnyPhone apps. The apps don't work on their own and require 3 other apps to work. The first app is the Cube Calculator, which is a Cube themed calculator as the name suggests. The other 2 are specific Witch Mode and Witch Battle apps, which each app had their own version of. The apps most of the time functioned as a phone theme, although there were times where a Witch's Kiss will appear, which will allow you to fight witches from Modoka Magica. There is also a Witch Encyclopedia, which has exclusive information on the witches, as well as unlockable photos from the show and exclusive voice lines. The apps don't work on modern Android and are very unstable on older Android versions, except for Android 4. So what is available of this old app? Well, prior to March of 2023, the only publicly available Modoka Magica phone apps were Homeraphone and Modoka Magica Phone Petite, as well as the Cube Calculator and the Witch Mode and Witch Battle apps. Several more of the Android versions have since been discovered and downloaded from Baidu Wangping, and this occurred between March and August of 2023. Now, a development version of iOS app Mommy Phone for I, dating back to July 3rd, 2014, was discovered in Archive Team's test flight archives in December of 2023. But the Android version of Modoka Phone, Kyoka version, and the rest of iOS versions do remain lost. So I'm going to come right out and say it. I hate Modoka Magica. That show is just, I don't know, it makes me angry. I definitely went into it being told that it was going to turn the tables on me, and I knew it was going to happen. I didn't like it. I don't like that show. It's Magical Girl Child Soldier. But again, it's hugely popular, and apparently there was a series of phone apps back in the 20-teens, and people don't have access to them anymore. At least not all of them. And hopefully one day they get to. Now, the Apple Computer Company needs no introduction. You know, they're the reason you have a multi-$1,000 phone in your pocket, likely, right now, or are listening to it on said phone. And while I don't personally use their products, I know a lot of people do. Now, you probably know that one of their founders was Steve Jobs. Now, in 1985, after numerous conflicts with Apple's board of directors, Steve Jobs was fired from the company he helped found. He then went on to found another company called Next Computer. But during this time, Apple was starting to lose direction, which led to poor sales and constant threats of bankruptcy. During this 13-year period, the company produced many prototypes that never made it to market, ranging from mobile phones to home appliances. And one of the prototypes that showed potential to be successful was an ultra-thin drawing board designed for professionals. The board utilized a drawing program known as MacPaint 3D. The program was a variant of standard MacPaint application, but used a 3D CAD and restrictive touchscreen technology to make it work. Now, although the project showed potential, in 1997, Jobs returned to Apple and bought Next for a reported $400 million, and soon this project was canceled along with many others in an effort by Jobs to make Apple profitable again. Now, this one is interesting to me personally because not only an early prototype of something that has become a mainstay in the art community, digital drawing tablets, it's a huge thing now, but it also goes to prove, because I think this piece would have honestly revolutionized Apple had it come to completion. Steve Jobs was not a tech engineer. He was a marketing engineer. Sure, he had some technical know-how, but what he could really do well was sell people on things, which means he might not have seen the profitability of this because he couldn't figure out how to market it. It was kind of niche at the time. But so as opposed to looking at it from a tech guru standpoint, he probably looked at this from a marketing standpoint and was like, who is this for in this day and age? And honestly, at the time, I don't blame him for it. Especially he was trying to get Apple profitable again, which it certainly is now, but I think it would have been cool had it actually come to fruition. Alright guys, from phones to computers to consoles now. At number 3 we have Mario quiz cards, which are partially lost educational flashcard designs based on the game franchise, circa 1995 to 1997. You probably know what Mario is. If you don't, I'm not going to explain it to you. But the Mario quiz cards are a set of educational flashcards that were officially licensed by Nintendo, and they were produced by Atlas Editions and Newfield Publications in 1995, and were considered an international derivative of the 1992 Fiches Tintin set made by Editions Atlas Editions European branch. The cards were divided into 91 decks, each having 20 cards in 18 different categories, bringing the total amount to 1,820 cards. Now, Atlas Editions and Newfield Publications are no longer active, as seen on their website. Due to Atlas Editions acquiring Newfield at some point during production, there are two box variants, one with the Newfield logo and the other with the Atlas logo. The 1998 website of Atlas and Newfield does not list the quiz cards, implying that they stopped selling them sometime during 1997 to 1998. one of the interesting things about these cards are the illustrations. Many of these cards are infamous for their unusual depictions of the Mario universe, examples being Luigi reading about Hitler, Bowser worshipping Al Capone, and Mario and Luigi protesting nukes. Now, illustrations for all of the quiz cards were done by cartoonist Gary Fields. Interestingly, older cards do not credit him at all, whereas cards from 1996 to 1997 have illustration credit in the bottom left-hand corner on the front of the card. Each card has unique art not seen elsewhere, inspired by 2D Mario titles and illustrations from the 1993 official Nintendo character manual. As seen in the prototype cards, said manual was heavily referenced, with exact Pantone colors and character illustrations being used for each Nintendo character featured in the cards. Now, similar to other educational card sets sold by the same companies, the Mario Quiz card set operated as a subscription-based distribution. To promote the cards, sample cards would be mailed at random, with recipients being able to subscribe for more cards. These sample packs contain 12 cards from the first 2 decks and a pamphlet with steps for claiming subscriptions. For a small fee, subscribers could obtain new decks every month, as well as a card box, user manual, tattoos, dividers, and a calculator. It is likely that certain card decks could only be obtained during specific times while subscriptions were active. This is due to the varying amount and selection of cards throughout different card sets. In addition, there are also various pamphlets included, typically promoting subscriptions and bonus materials. Also, numerical codes can be found on the back of each card, around the bottom right corner, representing deck and card numbers. The D2 and D3 parts of the code reflect languages. Some cards have D2 in their codes, being the same as the ones found in Fitch's Tintin set. The card prototypes also have these codes, which match with their final counterparts. This suggests that the deck and card numbers were decided early on during production. Many of the cards also match directly with their Fitch's Tintin counterparts, though there are noticeable differences between the two sets. The amount of cards per section varies, and the Mario set has several questions geared towards an American audience. So what all do we have of these? Well, the good news is that a lot of this is found, and nothing is completely lost. Currently, out of the 91 decks, decks 1, 2, 14, 15, 16, 23, 24, 25, 29, 30, 31. These ones are the ones that are currently considered partially found. Everything else we have, and that's quite a lot of media. Now, I think I've stated this before on the channel, I did not grow up with Nintendo consoles. I had a Sega and a PlayStation. I did have a Game Boy, but that was just for Pokemon, and I really didn't own a Nintendo console until I owned I own a Nintendo Switch, but I've never really sat down and played or beaten a Mario game. But that being said, it does not mean I was not aware of and even somewhat a fan of Mario as a child in the 90s. I remember I had a computer game for the PC it was just a series of board games, but it was Mario themed. And they did that kind of stuff all the time, where you would take something and you'd slap a popular character on it, and that would be, that alone was enough to get you to buy it. Now, Nintendo would become a little bit more careful in what they slapped their intellectual property on after the failure of the Super Mario Brothers movie, but that doesn't mean they weren't in the, hey, let's make as much money off kids as we possibly can and license out our stuff that, the 90s were full of, because we didn't really care what it was that our favorite characters were on. We were just dumb little children consumers of the 90s, and if you slapped a cartoon character on something, we had to have it. I remember, while I did not have these cards, I did have a series of science cards, and one of them, my favorite one of them, involved like light being refracted and things like that, and for some reason there was a picture of Mario with his yellow cape on it, and that was my favorite one in the set, because it had Mario. I don't know. Alright guys, at number 4 we have Super Monkey Ball 2, partially lost promotional monthly wallpapers for the GameCube sequel platformer from 2002. Super Monkey Ball 2 is a Nintendo GameCube title from 2002 created by Sega's Amusement Vision department. The players must roll a ball through difficult mazes and obstacle courses in a strict time limit. The plot revolves around the evil Dr. Bad Boon stealing all the bananas on Monkey Island, and it's up to Ai and his friends to save the island from starvation. Now, the Japanese Super Monkey Ball 2 website would upload wallpapers for every month for the year. So far, 14 wallpapers are known to exist. However, only 8 have been found, with half of them being in low resolution. These wallpapers were discovered and posted to Twitter by user @glitterboy on June 23rd of 2020. Later, on November 8th of that same year, the user @bensaxd would uncover some more wallpapers for the game. So, when I was reading up on this on the Lost Media Wiki, it was very confusing to determine what is found and what is lost. Some of these ones we don't even have any kind of documentation as to what they would have been, and just assume based on other things that it would have been, that they actually exist, but we don't know that for sure. There are also an unknown amount of variations for each month. If you're more interested in learning exactly what has been found and what has not been found, I suggest checking out the Lost Media Wiki on Super Monkey Ball 2's wallpapers, as it would be very convoluted and confusing for me to explain it here. Now, I find this one interesting because despite what my avatar may say to you, I've actually never played Super Monkey Ball. I know of it, I think it looks neat, but I've never played it. But it's got a huge fan base, and apparently they were giving people free computer wallpapers for them to use, new ones every month, and for some reason we don't have an archive of that. I mean, it's a hugely popular series. It would have been as simple as going in, saving the wallpaper to your computer. Somebody should have all of these and should have them archived in high resolution. But we don't, because maybe people didn't ever really think about it. They're like, oh, I'll always have access to these Super Monkey Ball wallpapers, but they didn't. And now some of it's lost, and that's why we're here. Alright guys, it's almost time for that spicy piece, but before we do that, let me have a moment of your time. Guys, we experienced huge growth last year and the year before, and we're currently sitting at 1,125 subscribers at the time of recording this. But I think that we can get to 2,000 by the end of the year, and to do that, I need your help. Whatever your favorite video on this channel is, I want you to help it go viral. That means watching it again, that means sharing it to your friends, that means leaving a comment, clicking the like button. Help the videos on this channel reach a wider audience, and I want you to also help today with this video. So what I need you to do is I need you to click that like button right now. In the comments, I need you to make the comment hello. Just a simple hello. It's 5 letters and a button press, and boom. The more comments we get on this video, the more of an audience it's going to reach. So click that like button right now, comment hello, and you know what? Share it with your friends. That's all you got to do. I have other things that you can do to help, whether that be Patreon, becoming a channel member, things like that, but we're not going to talk about that right now. Right now, I just want you to help me get these videos to as many people as you can. So like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and share the video with your friends. Post it on your Facebook, your Twitter, whatever platform you love to share things with people. And, thank you for your assistance. Thank you for helping this channel get to where it is today. And thank you for helping it get even further. So without further ado, let's get to that spicy piece. Alright guys, our spicy piece today is One Night at Flumpty's, the Egg Collection, which are lost builds of a console bundle for the Five Nights at Freddy's fan game series from 2021. Please note that the trigger warning, there are references to grooming in this entry. So, One Night at Flumpty's, the Egg Collection is a bundle of all 3 installments in One Night at Flumpty's, a series of Five Nights at Freddy's fan games created by game developer Jonochrome. The bundle was meant to be released for the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation, and Xbox, with them being developed by French software development company Click Team and Chilean game developer Phil Morg. However, possibly stemming from a controversy with Jonochrome, the bundle has since remained unreleased since it was first announced in 2021. So a little background. The concept of One Night at Flumpty's originated from a comic strip made by Jonochrome and his friends featuring the characters Birthday Boy Blam, Kevin Jr., and Flumpty Bumpty, and due to him being a fan of Five Nights at Freddy's, decided to combine the strip's characters, alongside some new ones, with the game's mechanics. This would become the first entries in the series in 2014. One Night at Flumpty's would eventually get a sequel the next year, after the positive reception of the first entry, and was supposed to have a third follow-up titled 1 Week at Flumpty's, but was cancelled due to issues with the game's design and production. Now, on August 21st of 2020, Scott Cawthon, creator of Five Nights at Freddy's, announced on the Five Nights at Freddy's Reddit subreddit that an official collaboration with fan game developers titled the Fazbear Fanverse was in motion, with one of its members being Jonochrome, developing the third and final installment in his One Night at Flumpty's series alongside mobile and console ports. Further details on the console ports would get revealed on August 20th of 2021, almost a year later, when the official ClickTeam YouTube channel posted footage of the first game in its console user interface. So what exactly is the Egg Collection? Well, as of now, the only known footage of the bundle is from 2 videos posted on ClickTeam's YouTube channel, which, while short, do showcase some of the new material made for it, which included a title screen featuring the bundle's logo, a track titled Selection made for the title screen, a selection screen for the games, new artwork of the game's characters for the selection screen, and a loading screen after selecting one of the 3 installments. No other new material is known outside of the new user interface for the consoles. So what was this controversy that potentially led to the game never having been released? Well, a few days after the release of One Night at Flumpty's 3 on October 31st, 2021, a former friend of Jonochrome would expose him for being in a relationship with a minor, with it starting when the victim was 14 and Jonochrome was 21. The relationship had broken up by the time it was exposed, but Jonochrome would end up making 2 separate responses to the situation, stating that he would seek mental help. So, after the controversy, no further updates or footage were ever posted by ClickTeam on the bundle's release, with the series only receiving mobile ports, which can still be purchased to this day. On August 3rd of 2023, Kane Carter, another member involved in the Fazbear Fanverse, replied to a tweet questioning the status of the collection. According to Kane, the bundle is finished but wasn't sure of its release, stating that it was possibly left on hiatus, cancelled, or that ClickTeam is simply wanting to get approval from Jonochrome on the bundle. Now, on January 7th of this year, 2025, Jonochrome uploaded a life update video on his second channel, Jonochrome Plays, in which he discusses several subjects that have occurred during his hiatus, one of which regarding the release of the Egg Collection, to which Jonochrome responded with, "I doubt. I haven't been involved in that process in years, so I don't really think about Flumpty anymore. Not in disdain or anything, it was just a different time. But I don't want to say never because a lot can change in a few years." To this day, though, it has yet to receive any type of release. Guys, this seems to be a video of pieces that I picked that I kind of picked these somewhat randomly. As I mentioned in the AMA video, I kind of just scroll through the wiki or other lost media sources till I find something I've never heard of that sounds mildly interesting to me. But today is things that I find interesting, yet I am not a fan of the things that we've been talking about. I don't like Modoka Magica. I don't use Apple products. I've never played a Mario game all the way through. I've never played Super Monkey Ball, and I do not like Five Nights at Freddy's. I tried to watch the movie even and got bored, and it's not just necessarily the animatronics or anything, because I loved Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage, just not a Freddy Fazbear fan, and I'm guessing I would probably not enjoy the game One Night at Flumpty's, but again, I don't understand what the correlation is between people who develop popular media and their proclivities towards young people who are not considered adults yet. I'm trying not to hurt the algorithm here, because again, there's been several entries in the spicy section of this series where it's been, hey, you have a popular piece of media, it's going gangbusters, sky's the limit, and then boom, the creator turns out to be a creepazoid. And I don't understand what the correlation is. Why are so many creative types so messed up? And again, I'm not judging people for being pervs. I'm one myself, let's be honest. But there is a limit. There is an acceptable amount of perversion you're allowed to have. And what is it with people that is it something that develops as they become successful, or were they already doing this before they were successful? I don't know. There's got to be some kind of correlation, which to me is far more interesting than an unreleased Fazbear knockoff. I don't really care if Jonochrome has gotten mental help, though I hope he has, but I don't care if he's a better person now. It doesn't forgive what he did, and I have no sympathy for him. If you are a fan of One Night at Flumpty's and are sad that you could not play it on the console, I do feel bad for you, as you were disappointed due to the actions of a morally questionable individual. But again, it's weird how many of these things get canceled due to the fact that turns out that the creators behind beloved franchises aren't good people. And that's our video, guys. Thanks for joining me today. I guess you can't say I'm only doing my own favorite pieces of media here, in the fact that all 5 of today's were things I am not a fan of, but they were interesting, and they were lost, and they were obscure, which is the whole point of this series. Be sure to click that like button, be sure to leave that comment hello, be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to click the bell icon so you never miss another video. Typically I make 3 to 4 videos a week here, and I make videos on my sister channels. We have AI-generated songs, free-to-use background AI music for your own videos. We have creepypasta readings, and we have Reddit stories, all on the channels that are going to be showing up in the end section of this video. Also, before I forget, let me give a shout out to my longest time supporter, J-Dog, who is a member of the Beta Club over on Patreon. And if you would like to get a verbal shout out along with J-Dog, or just have your name on a scrolling list of names of patrons and channel members at the end of each episode, that can be found over on my Patreon, or here on YouTube. You can become a channel member that way too. Also, if you just want access to my member exclusive videos that I come out with almost not on a weekly basis, but pretty much, I would say about 3 weeks a month. We have a member exclusive video, and all of those can be accessed for just $1 a month, either by joining as a $1 member here on YouTube or over on Patreon. So if you are interested in that, please do so. But again, thank you so much, J-Dog. You have been a longtime supporter of the channel, and your continued support means everything. But until next time, guys, I'm Mr. Sean. This is Mr. Sean Productions. I have to keep remembering the new name. But I hope sincerely that you alpha great day and an even beta tomorrow. Bye-bye.